Hello, everybody. Welcome to the daily speed gaming race here. Today we have Retrance, and for our runners, we have Professor Render and Hazuki. I am Lanabine, joined today on comms by Raka. How are you today?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing absolutely fantabulous. It is the 4th of July. We got explosions going on outside. We've got an explosive race here tonight.
It is going to be quite a loud evening, that's very true. So if you hear any fireworks in the background from our microphones, apologies.
I mean, I don't know. I am sharing the celebration with you, all of you in internet land. I expect you to appreciate it, not complain.
And today we have Pearson Kid 2 handling the tracking. Thank you very much for that. And in case anybody is not familiar, Retrance is basically a cross keys, but retro as well, so no small keys wild, and just a bunch of big keys, maps, and compasses around, and it's cross keys, so find the places that you want to go.
Cross keys, but we took out half of the cross keying.
Pretty much. Should be starting here in just a moment, everybody.
Yep, it is at the 0-0, so the two players should be going. We don't have a delay on the daily, so hopefully we'll be going in just a moment.
Usually it's just about a 45-second delay between when things start to when we start seeing things, so shouldn't be much longer for sure.
I do like that Nug said good luck tracker, and I'm like, okay, having done a lot of tracking, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we have 2 runners instead of 4. You pretty much need one runner per person when it comes to keys related races, so don't have any of these with 4 people.
Yeah, they are there. I miss a lot when I'm trying to look at 2 screens. 4 would just be impossible.
Okay, here we go, everybody.
So Bear starting out, going ahead and getting that amazing heart container. It's one of those things I always get a little bit frustrated whenever I get a heart container, but early on you don't get as mad about it because you kind of do need that. We do have the Bloomerang coming up in Sanctuary. Also, Hazuki, I don't know what that avatar is, but I love it.
Ooh, looks like we have a sanctuary at the Batcave today.
Interesting. And yep, we do go ahead. We're already over into throwing a sign at a guard because that's very important.
Ooh, we got the well already, but no bombs!
Womp womp.
Alright, so things to keep in mind, everybody. Small keys are not wild, so you're going to have to find your own to purchase them. You're going to have to find the shops to purchase them if you want to buy them. And as you can see on Renderer's side, there are some take any's. So there's going to be a sword somewhere. Renderer found one with a potion and a heart container, but no bottles, no potion. And also, you do have to buy your arrows, and arrows cost money to use. And for regular arrows, it is 10 rupees per shot. I believe it is 50 per silver. So most of the time, you're not going to see runners use silvers.
No, that's very, very expensive very, very quickly. It kind of actually reminds me of the Metro games where your currency is also your ammunition.
Ooh, got a mirror for Professor Render at the well, but no bombs, so 1 check left there.
Alright, we do also have the blue mail coming out of the render side. Did manage to get into the well at the correct side, but also, as mentioned earlier, does not have bombs, so can't do that last check in there. We'll definitely be noting that in the back of their head, be able to come back in just a little bit.
We did also find the big bomb vendor on Hazuki's side, but Hazuki elected not to talk with the vendor who would tell them where the red crystals are.
Yeah, we're already getting to the point where I'm just like, I'm hoping that the runners keep track of where it goes, Rex. I'm already completely losing track of it.
Okay, we're finding all the prized entrances early on.
Which is good and bad. I mean, it's good that we're getting them, but also we're not actually getting a lot of like amazing items. Okay, there's the Book of Moldorum. That is helpful. That does unlock desert if we can ever find our way into desert. Although unlocking desert doesn't matter as much in this mode because the actual palace has nothing to do with actually the book.
Looks like we also found out that Ice Palace and Eastern Palace are 2 red crystals today on Renderer's side.
Fantastic. And we already did find the Big Bomb shop, though getting the Big Bomb to where it needs to be based on where that shop comes out is going to be a bit of an interesting run around.
It'll be a bit of a pain if you ever need to do it for sure, but it is an entrance, you never know. So Renderer did find the mirror, so with bombs, you'll be able to Syncwood's Break and get all those Paradox Cave checks.
Also, Hazuki managed to pick up 20 bucks. Actually only had 2 rubies, so that actually helps out considering you do actually have to buy all of this stuff. So getting those occasional ruby drops actually helpful in this mode more than in most.
You know, got the brothers connector for Renderer front of the tavern, but no bombs.
Yeah, we've seen bombs for sale, but when we got there, no one had money for them. Renderer does move up, just decides not to get the guards called on them. I don't know why. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, true point from chat. French Vanilla Blinds Hut, very close to its original location. We also find GT already. Ooh, good money early on. Okay, you can buy those bombs if you want now.
Absolutely. So I very, very, very much expect to see our runners do exactly that before too terribly long. So getting Ganon's Tower this early on in the run, because I don't need to tell you, there's so many chests inside Ganon's Tower, and being able to access it, though obviously having to kind of death out because we do not have hammers to get through this room. Yeah, Pyrorum, you said forget the question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. We do go ahead. This is a Retrance, which is retro plus cross keys. So obviously cross keys doesn't matter as much whenever it's retro because you do have to, the keys are universal and generic, but the big keys definitely aren't.
Still looking for those big keys and maps as well. Small keys you can purchase and find just about anywhere too.
That's one of those things that I forget the original Zelda has that, and then every time I'm reminded, I'm like, oh yeah, that was such a weird thing that came out. Such a weird decision they made that you could just buy keys in shops. You never had to, but you could. Alright, would you gonna have Hazuki gets a little love out of a tree? Oh, and this is actually, well, I say it's big. I'm like, good they found the bombs, but they already bought bombs, so that ends up being a bit of a tragedy. So you always hate to spend the money on buying bombs, and then right after you find some.
It's always rough. You buy 10, suddenly you get 3 packs. You're like, ah, oh, criminy. Renderer going right back in to find out what is behind that bomb check, though.
Yet there's only one chest here, but one chest can make all the difference. This one, not so much. I love how you pick up pots and go through 5 rubies in order to get the chest and get 5 rubies.
$5! Yay! So you're going to see more $5 chests, items, and pot items than you would normally, because since there are no arrows in this game, oh gosh, death from a Hazukitty. But since there are no arrows in this game, all arrow pots and arrow looting turns into 5 rubies.
Oh, and Hazuki actually finally checking Link's house, getting that health container. I kind of noticed that they had 3, but I didn't like mentally put together what that actually meant. We do go ahead and have, so that was the mini Moldorm cave that was very, very mean to Hazuki. We do go ahead and have Ganon's Tower now being explored by Professor Renderer.
Alright, so Hazuki, or Hazukitty, is going to give us the extra check as well, to find out what is behind that darn check that Renderer had to skip due to lack of bombs.
Yep, it does look like Hazukitty is going to go ahead and go over to our lovely drop down. find another passage through.
But finding out, you have to walk all the way around now.
Yep.
Until you find again, and you don't know which drop is dangerous at this point.
I mean, being dangerous is never a bad thing. I do it a lot. All right, now we do have the mirror coming up for Hazuki. Come back here and find themselves not $5. I got confused with the other one.
Yay, heart piece! Oh, we're gonna get a pedestal check from Render. Head hype in chat, please.
Okay, just find a small key. I guarantee you, definitely going to go ahead and go through the entire pendant run through to get a single small key. Will not be going to buy that.
No, absolutely. You're gonna ped pull just for that? Heck yeah. Let's do it. Render, not picking up the 3 bombs. You're missing 1.
I'm going to laugh and also feel bad for laughing if they end up in a place where they need just 1 more bomb to get somewhere. I'll be like, you could have had just 1 more bomb. But Hazuki going to go ahead and check the back of this.
Yep, also going to be able to sequence break 2 entrances at this point, too.
Unfortunately, Hazuki does go ahead and pick up 3 bombs and does not have the option to leave them there for later. For some reason that never really made sense, when you open a chest, you cannot put things back in the chest. I don't think that's how containers actually work, but that's how they work in Zelda.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a shame. Oh, hi, Samaria.
Yeah, good old Cane of Samaria. We can now actually do stuff in Turtle Rock if we happen to come across it. And we get the red mail.
Well, death warps are going to be a little more difficult now. Ooh, are we low enough? Yeah, we're fine. Okay, sequence broken entrance is Dark Death Mountain. And this is the bunny sprite for Hazukitty.
It kind of looks like just being eaten by a void.
Looks burnt or something, I don't know.
I do not play the Toru game, so I don't know what that's a reference to.
Okay, so those 2 exit at the same area. Dark Death Mountain Descent, and I should say, what was that?
Oh, fantastic! Now, unfortunately, you don't have the key, but you do have the Key of Samaria. Although, I guess if you don't have the key and you also don't have a key, well, be surprised I didn't explore more. You can still get go around the chest and get to more stuff. I'm sure, unless am I just forgetting and they don't have Key of Samaria? That was actually a renderer that got it. I thought it was Hazukitty.
It is Hazukitty. They got it. Sequence breaking into Paradox.
Okay, no, this makes sense. I hadn't been thinking about it. But yeah, they were just more like, okay, there's more chests in front, so I'm going to leave, go to front first. I was like, they can still get your stuff in back. Why aren't they going? What the heck? Oh yeah, there are some of the later games. I don't know if it's Twilight Princess, but I do remember there are later games where you do have exactly that option, where if you like are full up on money, you can put the money back in the chest. Clearly what actually happened was that a lot of people were playing Elder Scrolls, and where you could just put stuff in containers forever, and Zelda's like, we need to compete with this. They're putting Elder Scrolls out on toasters at this point. We can't be outdone.
Hazukitty has to be a little bit careful here. Red armor, but those chain chomps still hurt.
Oh, Hazukitty does not have the boomerang. I was slightly confused on why they were going that route, but that makes sense now. Does not use the stairway down because they can actually just cheat their way there. I shouldn't say cheat. Cheat sounds much worse than it actually is.
That's what it is. Technically you're cheating, but you're legally cheating.
Technically correct, the best kind of correct. And yes, Pyora, that is one of the things, because keep in mind, Retrance is retro plus, where does the trans part come from?
It's the entrance it's cross
Oh,
keys.
it's okay. I was like, I was trying to figure out how to get cross keys into Retrance, and I was confused. But yeah, the retro is Zelda 1 rules, where yep, small keys just work everywhere.
Could have called it cross-tro, maybe? I don't know. Go ahead, I'm sorry, I'm amusing myself.
You are certainly allowed to. All right. Oh, nice pickup. Although now we have to pay for arrows.
Yeah, still haven't found an arrow shop. And even if you do, it's still going to cost you 10 rupees a shot. Ooh, and Saha for Hazukiri.
Yep, gonna go ahead and find out what's in his back closet. We do have, he has the big key to Skull Woods. I have to wonder why he has that. Does he secretly own Skull Woods?
There we go. Okay. Palace of Darkness is our green pendant. So we know 3 dungeons so far.
Yep, our 2 reds and our green pendant. I'm now in my head cannoning that Saha originally lived in Skull Woods, but then the moth boss came in and ran him out because he just could not deal with that. Pest control was not able to get that under control, so he moved all the way over here. It's kind of like when you see a spider in your house, you're like, I'm going to my friend's house. And yes, Nugs, or not Nugs, yes, Verdant, you are right. It was 1 in Zelda 1. But here's the thing, Zelda 1 was 8-bit, we have 16-bit. That is, you just have to expect things to get more expensive. I don't know why 8 to 16 goes 1 to 10, but you know what, don't question it. Now we find out why we got Moldorm, or why we got the book so early in the seed. It's for a single chest. Will this be worth it? Womp womp. Alright, Professor Render, we're going to go in and get the map to Swamp Palace. Lana, either you're not talking or I've somehow muted you. I'm not sure which one. If it's the latter, I'm sorry I keep talking over you.
No, you're good. I'm just watching. There's just so much going on both sides. It's hard to decide who I want to talk about.
See, that's the difference. I don't think ahead. The part of your brain where you're like, you know what? I shouldn't say that. That's a bad thing to say. I don't have one of those. So if I think something, it just comes straight out my mouth. Oh, Hazuki does go ahead and get another full heart, up to a whopping 6 so far, if I can do math. Hashtag no filter unless you look at my Snapchat, in which case there's a lot of filters.
Lots of entrances going on both sides. It seems like Hazukiri seems to have a slightly better route going. We got a bow. Just no arrows.
Enough money to buy arrows if you can actually find the shop to do it.
Ooh, Turtle Rock West entrance found.
Arthur, never mind. I was about to ask if there were interested in Turtle Rock because we found so many different ways to get into Turtle Rock at this point, but no, there definitely is another one that we haven't found yet. I just forget how many entrances this place has.
Oh, that's the front, the east, the west, and the laser bridge entrance, I think.
Yep. And we found 3 of them so far. Once again, we get the sooty Toro character.
Bunnied again.
Bunnied again.
And Renderer has taken some entrance as well. Let's see where this leads.
Oh, well, we do get to see. Is that a trash can?
It looks like it. But we do have a mirror, so we gotta check this. Yeah, no. But the thing is that Renderer found a legal way up Death Mountain, so that's interesting.
Oh,
Ooh,
and Verdant.
Go ahead.
I was going to thank Verdant for actually giving us some lovely, lovely details on exactly why that sprite was so sooty. It's actually not soot, it's shrouded in darkness.
So Render found the arrows and did buy them, and if we continue on this path, I think we may pick up our bow.
Let's find the old woman's hut. I only glanced at that. Is that a golden bomb I just saw?
I'm not really sure what that was.
Yeah, it's a sprite I don't usually see, and so I was like, for a split second when I saw it, I thought it was the mitts, and I was like, "There's no way they would pick," because they had over 100 gold. There's like they would not pick that up, but oh, bomb! Oh, thank you very much. I do not see that sprite like ever. So I was like, "What is that? That's not the big bomb. That's not." Also, I don't know if you know, this may be a question for chat. What is the background music? Oh, and here is our final entrance to Turtle Rock. We have now found all 4.
But no big key and not all the... Yeah, oh, there we go. Uh-oh. Laser.
Yeah, does not have any easy way. Definitely does not have the shield. Also doesn't have the boots, so you can't dash in there. And here's the thing. You do have red bell, so that helps a little bit. But lasers still hurt a lot.
Yeah, I think at least 2 hearts on red mail, I want to say.
I like it's a nice quarter heart. Not I think what Hazukiri wanted to see. Oh, it keeps trying to cut that corner. I don't blame them. You're getting shot at. Of course, you're being a little bit stressed about getting around that corner, but keeps just barely cutting it, falling off, and just take like donating more of your health. You're not taking damage. You're donating health.
There you go.
Man, the dark rooms with the kind of Samaria are something I don't see a whole lot. They look really, really interesting. It almost looks like a silhouette, like from a superhero intro. Does not quite get across that.
Render about to... Okay, we're a little bit disappointed with that little check there, I bet. So Render has his bow, he has his arrows, but he only has 9 shots currently.
Yep, for anyone that does not know, we were being quite literal when we said each shot is 10 rupees. It's not like you have to go to a shop and buy arrows repeatedly and 1 arrow at a time. It's just once you buy the first arrow, then every time you use the bow, 10 rupees get decremented.
In other words, if you want to use arrows on Armos Knights, it'll cost you 180 rupees if you don't miss.
So yeah, victory arrows are extra bad here.
Or 300 if you have silvers. Well, Render finding a legal way into the front half of Escape, so this seems very logical and it could very well have progression.
Alright, and there is fake flippers happening over on Hazukiri. Having a little bit of trouble with that, but again, you have Kitty in your like username, so of course water is not going to be a thing you excel at. I do kind of low-key love that we've got blue mail on one side, red mail on the other. Neither of them have found anything more than the starter sword.
Nice to have a sword, though, because early damage of any kind is so much easier than going around with just using bombs.
And well, Hazukiri goes, finds a bum living underneath a bridge, and it's just like, hey, give me your money. I know I've said this before, but I can't help but thinking we mug him.
I know, he looks to be relaxing under there, huh?
Oh, big key of this dungeon, nice.
And heart piece. But there are 2 other entrances that we're not going to check at the moment.
Well, notice he's clearly not asleep. Like, you can definitely see that he opens his eyes when you walk up.
Another take any for Hazukiri, but we're swimming.
Swims their way right into another piece of heart. All right. They do have enough to give Zora a lot of their money and have a lot less shots, though that doesn't matter as much for Hazukiri because Hazukiri's not yet found the bow. We thought that they were going to, but unfortunately, they didn't quite go the way we thought they would.
And this is the sort of mode that I would probably save and quit and then come back to Zora to save Scum that 500 rupees. That's expensive.
All right. We do go down for Renderer, now finding out that Saraha does own Skull Woods. Had to run away from it because of the pest control problem.
But he hid the fire rod from you, so good luck. Oh, the return, $20, the life lesson. The 125th return.
Yep, I feel like that is the Zelda equivalent of certain cryptocurrencies. Not all of them. Don't at me.
And Hazukiri shooting the arrow, or trying to shoot the arrow, realizing that we don't have any arrows.
Yep, has at this point found the bow, but has not actually found a shop to buy an arrow from.
As Hazukiri determines whether, or kind of thinks about it, whether or not to continue to the other entrance, and decides to check Saha, Eastern, and the South Ferry check.
Yep, has got to find that arrow. Arrow.
Well, there are multiple shops that sell arrows, so you could find an alternative one for sure.
Oh, absolutely. That's a bit of a big item. Not that we're afraid to have important items be in only a single location in the game, but the whole point of making this retro is to make it act like Zelda 1, and Zelda 1 definitely had arrows for sale from more than one place.
Ooh, and Renderer finds the dam, so gonna be able to drain that and get another item. And that means that Swamp will also be doable eventually. You have to kind of find it, yeah, flippers and, hookshot and hammer and, yeah, details.
But unlike in the base game, when you drain the dam once, it does drain Swamp for the rest of the playthrough. Because otherwise, you can't just like very quickly go to it the same way you can in the vanilla playthrough. I mean, they're very far apart potentially.
Good point. More bombs for Hazukiri. Gotta get those antioxidants. Blueberries, gotta love them.
I have always wondered what the actual lore reason why guards can't walk downstairs.
Maybe it's bulky, I don't know.
It can't be a coding thing, as there's got to be a lore reason. I always have fun just pressing the limit of how much people will put up with me.
It's great. Keep the questions coming.
Alright, we do have Professor Renderer in the Room of Darkness. Not the Palace of Darkness, just the room of it.
And Hazu Kitty finds another hard piece. Well done.
Fantastic. It's exactly what they wanted for their birthday. They love it so much they're not even going to bother picking it up.
They fainted out of pure love for it. So, other than 4 entrances to Turtle Rock, I don't think we found a single dungeon.
Ganon's Tower.
Oh, yeah!
But other than that, I think you're correct.
Oh, Hazu! Not gonna have money for the arrows!
Oh, that is Zora strikes again?
Zora stealing the money! And 3, 2, 1, womp womp. Oh, we also found Ganon. Just hanging out there. Oh, Render is going to Houlihan, get some money. And unfortunately, if you fail the Houlihan, you gotta hug Ganon. But he gets it first try. Well done. 225 rupees up for grabs. And
Yep.
it looks like Hazukiri may do the same.
Yes, Hazuki is still very much like, I need arrows, I need arrows, I need arrows now.
I love Professor Render's sprite. That's so adorable. He made it himself.
Oh, really?
He did.
I've only ever made one sprite, and it ended up being very buggy.
I need to learn how to make them.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of work, which is why I've never done another one.
Good point from chat. Don't forget to follow these runners. They're putting on a fantastic show. Those aren't the links to any of us. So,
But you know what? They are wonderful people as well. So
very true. Very true.
part of me wants to be a complete troll and go and see if any of them are alive and then thank them for putting on the great show and just completely confuse them. But then I
There's
always
other
have to-
people that aren't doing anything anymore here.
I always will always look to take a opportunity to troll. I said always twice because it's that important. Alright, we do have Hazukiri now has enough and is going to go ahead and pick up the arrows. So can now shoot arrows, except not really, because she does not have 10 shots just yet.
Doesn't even have 10 rupees for one shot.
It kind of reminds me of so this is a bit of a story that I probably shouldn't even tell, but I'm going to. When my grandfather very first got a camera, went around forever just to learn the mechanics of it, didn't actually load film, but didn't tell the rest of the family that. And so he was just going around taking pictures with no film in it. And so everyone was posing for shots that would never happen. And it kind of reminds me of just running around. I've got a bow. I don't have arrows yet, but I've got the bow.
It's great.
I'm just practicing technique.
Just getting ready for that film career there. Normally, these guys hurt. 2 hearts of health, but when you have red mail, a half heart, you're good. And Renderer does come back to this cave.
And going to go into the Ganon's Tower entrance, but finds another shop, trying to sell them arrows. Then
Renderer found another shop too, so now we know where 3 of them are.
Good. It looks like our links are now working. So these are the people that are putting on a show: Professor Renderer and Hazu Kitty.
Hey, thank you. Finch, if that was you, appreciate it.
We do have $20 and a amazing key. The red mail is coming on the side of Professor Renderer. I don't know what it is with so many custom sprites. I always get a little bit disappointed when you pick up new mail and all it does is change the color of your mail. I'm like, oh.
We also found Johnny Two Bombs at what was it, Spike Cave entrance. But even if you go in there and can talk with Johnny, you still can't use bombs.
Unfortunate.
AKA Hype Cave.
We are back with the trash can sprite. I still don't know what that is. It kind of reminds me of Robo from Chrono Trigger, but with a lot less personality.
We'll just have to have Render explain it to us when he comes in. I think he's told me once, but it was many months ago.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious.
And now Render's like, ah, crap. What to do? What to do?
Does definitely seem a little bit flabbergasted by the situation.
Bombos.
Good old Bombos. Did verify. It's like, okay, can that help this? Wait, I have none of the... But you know what? It is still worth knowing. So you're going to avoid a return trip later.
True. Probably just a useless entrance, but it could be important to know.
Yep. Just like items, you can have the... There are some entrances that you absolutely have to find at some point, and they only exist at one location.
And there's Ether on Floating Island. Where to go, Render? Which way do you choose?
Man, Old Man was stacked?
Wait, what did I miss?
Old Man just gave Hazu Kitty $300.
Oh, sweet!
Man, I need to find some old people in my area that are just like, oh, okay, you walk me across the block, here's 3K.
So Gary and Hobo each had 300.
Did Hobo have 300? I thought it was like $5.
Did he? Okay. I thought it was 300, but I could... No, it was probably $5. Oh, hello, Moon Pearl.
Yep. I was going to go ahead and pick up that Moon Pearl, so we are not going to see the Wandering Darkness anymore. Unless they do get hit by one of those swirly swirls. That's a very technical term, by the way, swirly swirl.
Agreed. And now you can go back to Hype Cave, aka Johnny Two Bombs. And hello, Hira.
I've always found the Tower of Hera interesting because there's no other Greek anything in the game. I'm not sure why it's called that.
Nilla Biggie, that's great. I guess we'll be beating Hera now. And Render are not too far behind either.
Nope, we do go ahead and have a full heart container coming out for Hazu Kitty.
So after having quite a discrepancy between the two runners, they're pretty much neck and neck here.
Yeah, both exploring just about the same areas. We do go ahead. This could potentially be a full clear, because here's one of those that has requirements to get to it, but not really requirements to finish it.
Well, they can't full clear yet. No fire source for the basement, but they can get close.
Oh, okay. True. When I say full clear, I mean actually getting the dungeon item, but you're right. There are a few... Oh, nice hook shot.
And a hook shot. The loaded Hera. And Eastern. Oh my gosh, this area is loaded with dungeons.
Sounds like exactly the kind of things you don't want to hear from your, like, realtor.
The market is overloaded around here.
I'm a little confused why Hazu Kitty didn't just hookshot over to the, I guess, actually, no, I know why, because it would have tripped the stars and they wouldn't have been able to get back without falling.
Exactly. Technically, you can bomb your way back, but it's tricky as all heck. I've only ever done it once or twice. It's just faster to go above and drop down, just like Hazukitty did. So, fun fact about Moldorm, whether you charge your fighter sword or do a spin, it's going to be the same exact damage. So you lose mobility by charging your sword, but you gain a little bit of safety. Not as easy to knock you off the edge. There we go. Well done.
Yeah, I do feel like that safety may have come in very handy because Moldorm was definitely flirting with the edge, and we do get a bug net.
That's
so now
practically go mode.
we can definitely take on Aghanim at this point, just not the boss that comes after Aghanim.
Bring on Aga.
And of course, you also can't get to Aghanim, at least not Aghanim 2.
Oddly enough, they are a GT big key from actually being able to technically do that. Never mind, no fire source.
No, but we did get the ice rod, so that's almost a fire source somehow.
True.
If you make it cold enough, things catch fire. It just like goes around the. It gets too low and flips over.
100%.
It's kind of like how technically in some games you can kill someone by overhealing them because it goes over the upper bounds and they're just immediately dead. So now we do go ahead and have now. This is the because technically we could finish Eastern. Hazukitty does have enough money in order to actually they both have enough money in order to be able to take out the Arbos Knights. A couple of blueberries coming out for Professor Renderer. It looks like he is not going to commit the amount of money in order to actually finish that off. I have $50 for Hazu, or 5 arrows.
Did Renderer do all of Eastern that he could?
I believe so, except for possibly, I don't know that Render got the 50 from that chest that we just saw Hazu get, because of course, Render does not yet have the hook shot, so I'm not sure if they went all the way around in order to get that. Oh, they did? Okay, thank you, Zaru.
This went so fast. I guess I must have been watching Hazukitty the whole time.
Well, Hazukitty was climbing and actually fighting a boss, so a little bit easier to get eyes stuck on that.
Okay, and Hazukitty deciding to abandon ship and not check the big key chest.
Somewhat surprising.
Well, it'd be a sequence break, but it could get you something.
Yeah, you're close enough. I would definitely do it, but then I am not as good a player as these are.
And Renderer demonstrating getting across via bomb, not having a drop down. Well done.
Definitely more talented than I am. Although, granted, I think that goes for anyone that's ever on this channel. Oh yeah, and here's the lovely room of lag. I always get frustrated when I try and get too many enemies get on the screen at once. I'm just like, I can't. We have Render going up against the big bug.
Oh, and since Tracker software is having issues, just a reminder that Ice Palace and Eastern are 2 red crystals as well. Which Renderer did check, but Hazukitty decided not to check the bottle vendor.
Alright, Alright, now we have bug nets on both sides. A lovely pair of bug nets.
Bug net's a requirement, gotta have it.
I mean, an Aghanim fight without style is an Aghanim fight not worth having.
Exactly.
I've definitely seen other runners where they don't have a bug net and they just have to like start making some Mario blocks and throw them around just for something to do.
You know, it's so sad. Alright, got some repeat checks here a little bit. How's Kitty doing the front of escape? Not gonna find too much, unfortunately.
No, but they're going to get a quarter heart. That's big.
True.
And we're back in another room of darkness.
Oh no, dead wrecked. Happens in every mode. Get wrecked, dead wrecked.
Alright, now we have Renderer taking all of the old man's savings. Alright, is going to go to the back. I don't think this is that hype. I'm trying to remember what comes out of it. Oh, never mind. The chests weren't hype, which is what I was thinking. We're going to say. But yep, does pick up that moon pearl. Very, very, very big. Goodbye, trash can.
I also completely missed it. Did Hazukitty ever go back to Hype Cave?
If so, I also missed it. One of those moments I'm not going to say no, I'm going to say I also didn't see it.
And another fun fact, those ball and chain guards also take the same damage from fighter sword spins or swings.
Well, that feels like cheating. I think actually what we can determine from that is that the ball and chain guard actually wears armor made out of Moldorm scales.
Ooh, here's our Johnny Two Bombs check. First up, we have $20, $5, an evil shield, and bombs. Shields are evil, chat.
Shields. Here's the thing. What's the last time a shield ever actually made or broke a run for you? Never.
Ever.
Bug nets let you be stylish. What do shields do? They get in the way of your sprite. You spent so long drawing that sprite, and then the shield just stops you from seeing it.
You get me. I love you. You're amazing. They block the beauty of the sprite.
It's just like I've always said that picking locks should not be considered a bad thing. Like, a door's purpose is to open, and a lock interferes. Locks are parasites. Don't actually try and use that as a defense in court, just so everyone knows.
Consult your lawyer before use. We have nothing to do with that. Okay, Render finally going back to escape, finding out what these other two exits are, or at least one.
Although actually, Render almost looks like. Oh no, never mind. I'm being a dumb. I get my head stuck in the normal mode, and I'm like, why would they be going towards Aga's tower? And I'm like, the entrances don't work that way, Raka. Stop.
Okay, so that exit went to the fairy fountain or fairy near pod. And we're gonna get Hazukitty exiting towards the back of escape. And Render following close suit. And the good news about Render's route is that if he does Death Warp at the very end, then he just gets warped directly to that exit to continue searching around.
Indeed, indeed. And unfortunately does have the red mail, so Death Warps are a little harder.
True, those rats are going to take a while. Oh, you've got a mirror. You don't need a death warp. Never mind.
I mean, that's true, but it's more fun talking about Death Ward. Well, a lot of arrows in that chest.
More money! Yay! Hazu Kitty can shoot that arrow like nobody's business right now. We're in good shape. And they paid off Zora already, and I don't think Render went and did Zora yet.
No, I don't believe so. So that means Hazukity has gotten a lot more money because they actually have more money than Renderer, and Renderer has a pending debt.
True, if he does elect to check Zora, it's gonna be it's a tough thing.
It's kind of like whenever you write a check and you know that there's less money in your account than it actually shows. You've just got this looming. There's money to be taken out at some point. Zora is waiting.
So sad. Hazukity not heading east. There's another entrance to check to the southeast, but electing not to check it. Or are we? Never mind. We're just going back. It's all calculated, chat.
What actually happened is people were like, make sure that you do some strange things every once in a while so we have something to talk about. And that's just Hazukity helping us out.
True. In fact, I don't think we checked pod entrance either, so technically 2 entrances to check. And here we are, 49 minutes into the seed, and the runners are in the same area. Hello, Thieves Town.
Lot of lovely chests in Thieves Town to open up. Gonna get a map to Thieves Town.
That's a crystal, apparently. But what? I don't think we've gotten the big key for this yet, have we?
We don't. We have the big key to Skull Woods, which is nearby, but that doesn't mean anything.
This is interesting. So no hammer, no glove, no flippers, so no logical way to West Dark World yet. Or an exit that we found there. And Renderer giving us the pod entrance check, so see you later, 110 rupees.
And Coco is so much more greedy in this. In Link's Awakening, it just wants a banana. Oh, but we have Quake. Being hit by Hazuki.
Okay, well, we have knowledge of Quake and Ether now. Ether, I think, is on Floating Island on Death Mountain.
So I believe, if I remember correctly, Quake is actually unlocks Misery Mire, and then Bombos unlocks Turtle Rock.
Bombos is still a question mark. And the other good news about Quake is that it's a dead rock killer, so get wrecked, dead rocks.
I have definitely, not when I'm running, but gone and just like killed dead rocks for a while just to get some frustration out because they're invulnerable to everything except that.
Exactly, Quake and Powder.
All right, we have Coco getting rich on both screens.
Murderdactyls aren't nearly as intimidating when you have red mail and 10 hearts.
Alright, so we have Renderer coming in here. We'll be getting Quake in just a second, so Dead Rocks beware. You don't have a screen to be safe on.
Hazukity elects not to walk back towards the pyramid. We'll see if Renderer decides to check that. Ooh, looks like we're going to check that mire entrance and find out what it'll be.
Yeah, obviously making the decision, hey, this is worth doing because they actually gave me the tools to be able to get to it.
Sorry, go ahead.
It seems to definitely kind of lead you on the way, but here's Quake for Renderer.
And of note, Hazukity used Quake and... Oh, hi, Sick Kid. Used Quake, but there was a fireball coming towards you, and it hit Hazukity mid-shot. Like,
yeah,
weird thing.
I was actually sure if you were invulnerable, but apparently not.
You are during the cutscene, kind of, but then the damage catches up as soon as the cutscene's done. So you'll see your sprite take like a damage hit, posture change, and then when the cutscene ends, your character takes that damage. It's kind of weird. So you could technically die in the middle of a cutscene. Which, if it's anything like the GT opening, I'm guessing would lock the game, potentially.
Quite possibly.
If you took fatal damage in the middle of the cutscene, I don't know what takes priority, the death or the cutscene finish.
That actually does remind me. Game I played once, I was trying to protect an artifact, and the artifact actually died in the middle of the victory cutscene, but the cutscene continued.
I was really hoping that was the Thieves' 10 big key, but it's the pod one. We don't even know where pod is.
Yeah, I want to see another dungeon. I'm always very, very eager for murder.
And Render with game knowledge here, climbing up here, going to mirror and be able to check 2 of the 3 entrances on top near the vanilla Agate Tower entrance. Well worth it, $5. Well, you need the Cape or Master Sword to check that middle entrance, but this right one is available. And it's Desert East!
We do find our way into desert, but we still do not have a fire source. So definitely can come in here, definitely can check some things. I also don't think we have the big key to desert.
I do not believe we do, but it's at least 3 checks, and you can check a 4th on the torch, at least see what it is.
And there are also 2 other exits they can go in, other than the one they came in here. So this could be a link to somewhere. Not a link to the past, but it's also a link to the past.
I was gonna say, a link, I get that.
Hilarious.
That's very punny, and I agree. And Hazukiri about to get the bad news of getting ether. No, you're in good shape. Except ether's not needed, so.
Has Hazukiri actually gone over to Turtle Rock? I'm guessing no, because they're moving that way right now.
That was a mushroom we just saw on the desert torch, too.
Oh, mushroom's one of those very interesting pseudo-dead items, where it's like, that's not necessary, but it might lead to something that's necessary, and you just never know.
Ganon's just trying to fry some mushrooms. Like, maybe he's making a steak or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with being Ganon. Because, like, you're like, I'm really hungry, I'm going to have a mushroom and send it to a desert palace, and I'm sure that will make it be cooked.
Exactly, it's not like he had any torches and GT he could have used. Alright, dark world checks going abound here. Dark room for Render.
Oh, we do have a guard hiding in the bush.
Evil guard. Oh, hi, Pod. We found your small key, or your big key. But we have no hammer.
No hammer? And also, was it Render that got the big key, or was it Hazukiri?
It was Render. It's on, it's basically it's on the pyramid.
Oh, thank you very much.
Unfortunately, you're gonna have to use most of your keys here in Pod if you're gonna want to full clear minus the boss.
Or possibly including the boss if somehow we get hammer. There are a lot of chests. It could happen.
Absolutely. Every check is in logic except the boss. Yay, the logic of retro. Ooh, that's a magic bat.
You go and have some money given away to go and kill those lovely knights. Render moving up through the using hook shots to clear these out. I really should learn the names of the enemies. I'm just like the red circles.
Jellies or something? These guys, I knew them at one point, but all the names are just so confusing.
And no, Nick, we have not seen either the fire rod or the lamp so far.
But what we did see was a hammer on right side pod. So Render can beat the dungeon, not logically, but can beat it. Is it a berry? Thank you. Exactly. I just call him a jelly. Blue jelly, red jelly. Berry? Seriously?
Yeah, my brain must be like, oh, it's short for Barracuda, and then my brain says, what? How would that make any sense other than you like that song? Clearly, that's what's important to me.
Good priority. Ooh, big key. Desert, which we know where that is. We haven't seen the back of it, though.
That is very true. We have not seen the back of Desert Palace. Though, granted, we have seen the area that you would actually need the big key for in terms of the chest. So that's still valuable.
Kitty going for the one other available check in GT right now, which is everybody's favorite room, the tile room.
Yeah, this is definitely a very, very, very big hope.
Well, Hazukitty decided not to go to Pyramid, which is where Render has pretty much gone on this trip that he's on with all these entrances, finding Pod, Big Key, and Pod itself.
Maybe this says something about me that I shouldn't admit, but I always would move past the little iron mask guys and just let them fall whenever the walkway disappeared.
Oh, nothing wrong with that. Oh, hi, Silvers. Which you'll almost never use, except on Ganon, probably.
Yeah, it's good to have. Like, that will give Hazukitty a better clear when we do get to Ganon, but probably not worth the time invested to get them. And now Hazukitty's like, well, where do I go now?
Yeah, it's kind of, if you see a runner pause in this, you know it's them checking their trackers, being like, okay, what entrance have I missed? And for Hazukitty, it's pretty much just going back to East Ark World and going to the Pyramid. And then mirroring.
Yep, there we go. Gonna have the bomb move over. So we do have the big key, of course. We actually have all 3 dungeon items. We found everything for Pod. Not that the other 2 actually matter that much.
Saving a key, though, getting that hammer up down. Well done, Render. Rewarded with $5 and another 3 bombs. Come on, antioxidants.
Oh, that is a good point from SP Ridley. This is a pendant dungeon, so the fact that we can't get to the boss may not be. Although, I mean, now we can. I was thinking back to when we said we didn't have hammer. Words are hard.
That's green pendant. We know where Saha is, so it could pay off. It's not in logic, but yeah, it could pay off. The hammer is in logic, so at the very least, that'll maybe get you something. Because I'm pretty sure Render is in Village of Outcasts, so that gives you 1 extra check in that little hammer peg house.
Oh no, poor Hazu has not quite realized that they have access to Pyramid. Because they're just looking at the map and just being frustrated.
You got this, Hazukitty. You can do it. Now comes a test of Professor Renderer's luck here, I guess you can call it. It's not so bad of a dark room with Master Sword, but with fighters, oh my gosh, this upcoming dark room with all the turtles is just so annoying.
Yeah, 'cause that's the thing. Like, you can definitely just two-hit them with the hammer, but the one you actually hit will die, but anyone's nearby flip over and trying to keep up with them in the dark.
Exactly, you don't have a potion. You have red mail, which is good, but there's still only so many hits you can take.
So ironically enough, all eyes are on Renderer, even though we can't see Renderer.
Hazukitty having issues with the fake flipper using the bombs again. It works.
Yep, once again, as mentioned, you put Kitty in your name, you're gonna have a hard time with water. It just makes sense. Also, why Zora was so mean, because fish and cats do not get along. See, I'm gonna make all this work logically. Man, Zoro, you're making me really wish I had the magic hammer whenever I fought the Terrapin in Final Fantasy 15, I think. Alright, we do go and have the fight against Helmassar. I do at least know the boss names for the most part.
And for the most part, the boss names make sense. It's all the basic enemies that you look at them and go, really? Barry? Of course you could be like, Barry, please!
Yep, Render are going to actually be a little sad that they have not found silvers yet. That would make this go a lot faster.
True, and technically using a single silver arrow costs 50, but using 8 single arrows to kill him takes 80. So technically silvers would... oh, hello, Boots. So Renderer, Sync What's Breaks Beating Pod, gets Boots for his trouble, and a green pendant, ironically.
Yeah, I do love that you got boots, and then you also got the item that would give you vanilla boots.
Great, I love it. Plus he's got hammer, he can go over to this extra check. And this is in logic 100%, so it could be progression. Or it could be hero entrance.
Okay, it looks like Hazuki is on the way to Pyramid, I hope. Is on the right part of the map to be able to shift. Oh, but
Are we in dark or light world?
Yeah, we're in light world and doesn't have hammer, so can't actually get to that. Or mitts. You know what? Don't listen to me.
You have to use the connector to get you back to the fairy cave east of the pyramid. You got this, Hazukitty. Oh, and on Renderer's side, we have Meyer. And we have 1 key left. Technically, you could do everything in Meyer with 0 keys, as long as you don't misspend. Wait a minute, no you can't, because the keys aren't in the chest, so you're gonna be short. I think.
This is one of those things I'm going to absolutely leave to you, because I don't know.
What was in logic that I was talking about was the hammer check in Village of Outcasts, because the hammer was just locked on right side bow lock pod. That check was in logic, and it just turned out to be a fairy. But another in logic check we have now is the vanilla hero entrance.
That is true, because we were not, well... The only thing left in Hera is at the, fire-locked bottom.
Speaking of fire locked, it's going to lock Render out of 2 checks in Meyer.
Yeah, this has been a very, very, very stubborn lamp/fire rod. Has gotten up to the 2 keys, 3 now. As I start saying that statement, Renderer makes it no longer accurate. How dare?
Oh, hi, Master Sword. That's one more check on the top of the pyramid. Just mirror back and check the vanilla castle tower entrance.
Indeed. We have Hazuki. Hazuki going through Moldorm Cave. Now, keep in mind, actually, that Moldorm Cave was where Hazuki died early on.
Oh, actually, that's also the tablets as well, I just realized. So that Master Sword unlocks Bombus, Ether, and Castle Tower entrance, and that hammer unlocks the vanilla Hera entrance. And not so logically, Renderer also has Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb available.
Indeed. Should not have boots yet as far as the suit is concerned, but you know what? Renderer doesn't play by the rules.
Renderer is quite the lawbreaker. Meyer Pendant. I think I saw Swamp Pendant or other ones. So Meyer and Swamp Pendants, that makes Desert Skull, Meyer, or Desert Skull and Turtle Rock are less crystals.
Yep, currently only 1 crystal held by each of our players. Still definitely needs to get those other 6.
Renderer was debating, do you want the free heart or do you want to wait for a potion to get the free blue potion? Decides to take the heart.
It's kind of surprising that we have not found any potions so far. We found Sick Kid, but without a bottle, Sick Kid isn't very helpful to us.
Sick Kid is super quarantined too. I think they had him in what, Meyer or something?
I believe so, yes. With like side images to Meyer.
That poor kid, what kind of sickness can you have? The people just lock you in Meyer. That's rude. To answer a question in chat, boots were on Helmasaur King. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh no, you're absolutely fine. You can always talk over me.
Never! It's rude. But if I do, I apologize.
Oh wait. When or where did Renderer get Bombos?
Probably Meyer. I think I probably just missed that.
I definitely missed it as well. I just looked down like, wait a minute.
Hazukitty, go, go, go!
Oh, good.
Yes!
Good.
We're on the path!
On our way to Skull Woods. Now remember, both of these players do have the big key to Skull Woods. They can go ahead and open the big chest, though they don't have the real key to Skull Woods, which is the fire rod.
Oh, Lady Lauren Linda putting out in chat, Bombos is in desert. We were wrong, that's okay.
I mean, Desert and Maya are basically the same place.
True. They're in the same spot, just light and dark world. Totally the same.
I will 100% always say that Meyer is dumb and shouldn't be taken seriously, because there is a dungeon inside of a swamp in the Dark World, and it is not the Swamp Palace.
Hazukitty didn't mirror! No! Go back! Hazu, you can't do anything up here! Go back!
Yeah, that's it. Those are all words?
Oh, pyramid! Pyramid! Mirror! Pyramid! Oh.
It's always rough because of course we get to see everything. Wait, notes. We actually do see the rest of Sick Kid in the credits.
That's true. In the credits, he is hopping with his bug now.
Was extra confusing for Randomizer because he doesn't give us a bug net. Why do we give our bug net to him in that scenario?
Well, technically in the vanilla game, you borrow the bug net from him.
Yes,
And he clearly says you're borrowing it. He doesn't say you can keep it.
that sounds like a problem for someone that like follows the rules.
True.
I mug old men under bridges. I'm not going to give a bug net back.
Good point.
I know I've brought this up before. I think the weirdest one is the old man in the mountain that basically like talks to you about his granddaughter. I'm like, you know nothing about me except that I'm wandering in dark caves with a sword.
True. He's like, I'm searching for my daughter and the golden power, blah, 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 and then he gives you a mirror.
Hazukini did not want to find that $50.
Salute, chat.
Gonna go have a cuckoo bird. Very, very maneuverable in the light world at least. Cuckoo bird only shows up one time in the dark world.
Well, Render has much easier access up Death Mountain now. In fact, has multiple ways to check Ether Tablet and Hero Entrance.
Hazuki is now inside Skull Woods. I feel for them so much whenever they actually like check that entrance and realize how much earlier they could have gotten like onto the world tour. Alright, I'm going to use that can of Samaria. The renderer is moving through the Death Mountain checks. As mentioned, has much, much easier access to it.
I know when I was first trying cross keys, that's one of the hardest things to remember is the things like mirroring at the top of pyramid or stuff like that, or if you're doing inverted, mirroring to get to hookshot cave, for instance. There's just so many weird nuances of these modes.
Yep, that's how we've kept this popular for as long as just that you can't get tired of the game because the game has so many small variations between all the different modes. How many modes are there? It's something like 30 or 40 now.
Render, did you already check Hero Entrance? Must have.
I feel, yeah, they just about have to have coming over here to go.
That's right. They went west when earlier and just mirrored. That's right. Okay.
Actually, Tristana, I'm now thinking that the sick kid was like, I need you to go capture this thing in order to make medicine for me, and Link just like wanders off. The classic side quest. Classic side quest syndrome in like every RPG where it goes into your journal and you'll get to it eventually.
Oh, side quest. First you gotta complete the game, then do all the side quests.
100%. Although actually that is not how I play games. I avoid main plot like the plague.
Hazukini making the play! I hope Hazukini does finish the dungeon, though. We'll get rewarded with those boots. And Renderer's turn to contemplate what you're doing next.
It's one of the only modes where we have both players have to stop and contemplate their decisions in their life in the middle of the run. I feel so much better for Hazukini now. I felt for them.
Right? Oh my gosh. Sigh of relief. Hasn't gone right side yet, though, so it doesn't have that hammer.
Nope, definitely unfortunately routed this. I mean, you can't say they routed it wrong. They routed it, based on what they had, but they don't have enough.
It'll kind of work out, really. I mean, you're going to get your hammer and you're going to be like, oh, I can beat this. Then you just hammer above and you drop down and you're good.
All right, that is true if you want to be correct. Half magic. Nice. I didn't actually notice that Renderer had that, but now I know, and knowing is half the battle. And there's our
Hazukity
flip.
has it too, apparently. I'm sorry, interrupted you again.
Yeah, Hazukity just picked it up in the dark ruby room. Actually got flute and half magic down there. Is burning a key rather than doing hammer yump.
That's okay, you got plenty of keys. For now. But there's a lot of places to spend keys. Oh, Render back in GT, another good play. Gonna get rewarded with silvers here, but also can go left side.
It definitely has a lot more clear potential. I was always a pansy when I played this, and I would just stay in the doorway the whole time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a strategy. You stay in the doorway, then the hand drops, you leave, and then you go back and when the hand leaves. And you'll be 100% protected from everything except the hand. Hazukity, gotta get that hammer. Don't do it, Render. Okay, good. I was afraid Render was about to spend a key to go left. So left side GT is in logic, since small keys are kind of taken out of the equation for logic purposes. So there's a lot of potential here.
Alright, Hazukity making their way over to the hammer side. One might say it's hammer time.
Agreed.
That Barra getting very close. I'm never going to
Oh,
remember that
no.
that's its name. Oh, Renderer?
I think the sprite's name is Professor... Gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up here. He named it kind of after himself.
I mean, I would too. Dang it, now I want to make a Rocket Sprite.
I think it's like Professor something Kensington.
There is the hammer. Oh!
There it is. Professor Renderer Grizzleton.
So interesting play from Hazuki. Gets the hammer but does not clear Helmassar.
Oh no. Well, if you're not comfortable with dark rooms, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's only a pendant. What are the chances that something like Boots will be on Helmassar?
Did Boots lead to anything? I completely forget.
I don't believe so, not yet anyway.
I mean, there's the mushroom on the torch and desert, but otherwise we have nothing that we really need, I guess. Speaking of that mushroom, there we go. Hazukity getting knowledge of that.
We also have Renderer picking up the big key to Ganon's Tower.
In GT, well that's rude.
I know. Is this even cross key?
That puts the... Well, if Renderer finds a fire source, that'll put the GT climb in logic. And right side. In fact, a fire source... Well, a fire rod would put right side in logic and the climb. A lamp would technically put the climb in logic and the right side doable.
You're talking about fire sources, and when that red ruby came in, I got very excited for like half a second.
I expect something to come out of GT, but I don't know what it'll be, if anything, here. Vanilla map 2, what is this? Oh, hi, Flippers.
And the bottle, so now we can go back to Sick Kid.
Ugh, that's an ugly location.
Speed Gaming coming here with a raid. Hello everyone. We're right now in the middle of the race between Professor Renderer and Hazuki. Hazuki got a little bit behind, but is catching back up because Renderer has found a lot of dead checks. Although right as I'm saying that, picks up the flippers, which is definitely not dead.
These two are in a pool of 7 people racing this seed. And this is Retrance, so it is a Cross Keys retro mix.
For those of you that don't know, the big difference with retro is that once you get the bow and you buy arrows the first time, every shot of arrows costs 10 rupees. A shot of a silver arrow costs 50, instead of having to pick up and carry a certain number of arrows. That's why if you look at the top of the screen, you do see there's no counter underneath the arrow icon, because you don't carry individual arrows. Also, small keys are universal, so you pick up a small key, you can use it in any dungeon. Big keys are still unique to the dungeon. Basically, the keysmith went ahead and made these special, very specific keys for all the dungeons, and then he got lazy. He's like, here's some skeleton keys, whatever.
And Renderer found the first glove in GT, and is using silvers on Ice Armos.
Nice 300 down.
Well, it is only an extra, what, 120 rupees?
Yeah, I'm not doing caster math.
Okay, so no fire source. Wait, Renderer, don't do that! Renderer! No! Okay, so Renderer is going to take a little detour here. Unfortunately, no fire source, so as soon as you get to that torch room, you're going to find out the hard way.
You have to just take a look at that screen to make sure that we hadn't somehow missed the fact that they had a fire source, but definitely did not. I did not see a lamp. I did not see a fire rod. And Bombos does not count.
That would be pretty neat if you could use bombos to light all the torches.
I legit do not understand why you can't.
Also, Render down to 2 hearts, gonna have to be a bit careful.
Yeah. Nightmares are made of the possibility that Render will die, start climbing again, and then realize they don't have fire.
I know, in this particular case, you kind of wish that something had happened and Renderer would just have to leave. You don't usually wish this on people, but like a death climbing Ganon's tower would be like, well, I'll just leave and come back later. And then it'll occur to you, be like, oh, wow, I didn't have a fire source.
Saryu, thank you very much for that prime. 47 months. That's 1 month short of 4 years. 4 years is so long to be watching completely different content. And honestly, Speed Gaming at this point is a variety channel.
It is. You're not just going to find A Link to the Past. You're going to find all forms of Zelda and Pokemon and a bunch of stuff here. Final Fantasies.
Alright, Hazukiri goes in and gets that another full heart. Is up to more heart containers than I want to count. Because as mentioned, caster math is terrible.
Render, no!
My Winter is fighting with
Practically zero cycle.
when you use ice, it makes the cycle not progress. That's the rule.
Exactly. And now, more climb. Alright, now Hazukitty has the rest of the dungeon knowledge as well.
Yep. This is such a strange play by Renderer.
This is gonna hit him like a bunch of bricks. I think he just realized.
I think so as well.
Yeah, he just realized during that run, he's like, okay, gotta equip my fire. Oh, crap.
I've said it before, and I know I'll say it again. Womp womp. But hey, at least the background music got very, very happy in order to like make him feel better.
True.
Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum.
And Hazukitty wisely purchasing a few more keys.
Well, at this point, money is no longer really an issue. Hazuki can shoot 18 silver arrows if they really want to.
Render hasn't paid off the scamfish yet, though, but does have access, logically, to Grumpy Fish, at least.
I love the fact there's so many different fish and they all have their own names and none of their names are good.
I personally like Grumpy Fish because he's so grumpy.
Hazuki is moving back into Ganon's tower to get all of those checks that they missed. Or shouldn't really say missed, they weren't able to complete. Hopefully we do not see a massive climb for no reason. Like I do get Hazuki, you're playing catch up to a certain extent, but don't catch up with that part. Render once again making life decisions.
Trying to plan that route. Where am I going? Well, what does Render have? One check, Castle Tower entrance, Grumpy. Probably more.
I'm just completely letting you take over that because I don't know.
Trying to think. Oh, and the tablets as well. Bombos and Ether. Oh, wait. I think you already checked Ether tablet a little bit ago.
Yes, I don't think they have checked the southern tablet, but I think Ether one they did check. Bombos, that's what it's called. Alright, Surrender is back in Hyrule Castle for just a moment.
Ooh, maybe checking out that either Grumpy Fish and or that Castle Tower entrance. Oh, Hobo.
Let's go ahead and get... Could he steal $5 from the hobo?
Steal $5, my gosh.
Here come flippers for Harukitty. Or Hazukitty. I do have ascending right now. Gonna see how far they move up. Hopefully we'll turn back before too terribly long. There are still a few checks. This isn't completely wasted, but I'm nervous. Another shop on the side of Renderer. Does not want any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, those bonk checks too, but technically not logic without the lamp. Where the heck is that lamp? Where the heck is the fire rod?
Yeah, it is a bit astounding. We are so deep in this race, over an hour and a half, and we still have not found either of them.
But we found Spike Cave! See ya, Spike Cave!
Yep, no cave and no cane of Burna means no cave.
No hearts either. You could manage it, of course, if you have a potion of some kind.
But we just picked up our first bottle, and I don't think either of them have filled it yet.
Okay, Hazu Kitty, we need you to leave GT. Thank you!
So at this point, we definitely had a period where it looked like Professor Rinder was running away with it, but that very long climb into GT brought them just about, like, obviously Rinder's been out of GT longer than Hazuki has, but he hasn't really achieved anything in that time.
But we still have not seen Ice Palace, I don't think. We have not seen the back of Skull, we have not seen the back of Desert. We have seen Eastern, though.
Yep. Eastern has been seen, but no fire source means that we can't finish it.
Well, no big key, I think.
Oh, that is all. Well,
Do
I
we?
think that's true.
Well, I would think if they had the big key, they'd be back to beat the dungeon by now, but I don't know. So many things going on in the cross keys.
Oh, it looks like Professor does have a bee in the bottle. It's supposed to keep bees in bonnets. What are you doing? Oh, and hello, tower. Only, what is it, 2 checks in here?
One logical, and one you can get as long as you know the dark room.
I know the logical one did not help, although we do have a map of a place we don't know where it is.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit tragic whenever, it's like, oh, good, here's a map to a place I don't know where it is. A map should help. It does not help. Be an interesting modification that they can make, where, like, when you pick up a map, it will tell you what entrance the dungeon entrance is at. Mr. Renter does go and dig up a bottle full of blue potion. I don't know that I would trust a bottle full of liquid that I dug out of the ground.
Questionable, but when it comes to Spike Cave, you gotta drink what you gotta drink.
For Hazu Kitty, got the map to Ice Palace, just got the big key for Ice Palace, and Hazuki's like, okay, well, there's a very important thing that you haven't given me yet.
Where's Ice Palace? Ooh, gonna get an ether tablet check from Renderer. Give us progression. That works.
You have to go and pick up that tempered sword. Now, Kazuki has not yet found the Master Sword in... I forget where that was. I want to say in, Blind's Dungeon? No. I think that was in Misery.
I'm trying to remember too. Was that Meyer?
Yeah, I do believe it was in Meyer. And yes, Zara just pointed out we have a sword lock sword.
Well, Render has tempered silvers, so at this point he's like, come on, give me my progression. I just want to beat the seed.
So we go and venture the dark rooms.
Okay, Hazu Kitty giving us a few new logical checks since we have those flippers. I presume one of these is going to be Ice Palace, but who knows?
The problem is we need to find Fire Rod and we need to find Ice Palace.
And Render did elect to go ahead and check the not so in logic second check in Castle Tower, gets rewarded with an evil shield.
Although actually, can you clear Ice Palace with the bombos?
You can.
I thought so.
Hazu Kitty electing to leave several chests. There we go.
I was confused as well. I was like, I can't think of any logical reason why that would be a good idea.
Right? We are getting a Spy Cave check. Hey, there's Ice Palace, just like we thought. We got small keys, we got the big key, we could full clear it with the fighter's sword.
Hey, there's still one sword. We don't know where it is. It might be an Ice Palace. We might have mastered by the end.
True. And that was $20 in Spy Cave for Render.
Definitely worth the time.
Sigh of relief, being like, oh my gosh, I was hoping to find that 20. That's 2 extra arrow shots.
That'll buy me 3 cups of coffee. Coffee's a scam.
As pointed out in chat, don't forget to follow these runners. They're putting on a fantastic show for us.
Absolutely. We have Professor Render and Hazu Kitty. Our tracker this time is Pearson Kid. Either the first or one of the first times they've ever tracked. So thank you. Much appreciated.
You're wonderful.
Oh, excuse me. Pearlson Kid 2. Don't want to get you confused with who I presume is your older brother.
Big key to Turtle Rock. Okay, that is required. In Ice Palace there.
Oh.
And another evil shield!
I will say, in terms of the evilness of the shields, I consider Mirror the least evil one because it actually helps sometimes.
But look at it! Your sprite's gone! But it does look like Render is on their way to also find the awesomeness that is Hookshot Cave full of nothing, and Ice Palace, which so far has a Turtle Rock Big Key, and... Oh yeah, Render had never fake flippered, so didn't really check these entrances.
So I will say, actually, never mind. I was going to say Render had the chance to get the shield stolen, but chose not to. But they won't steal the mirror shield, so it doesn't even matter. I don't think the vanilla game put in there in order to be like, yeah, you can completely lose. But we do have the Titan's Mitts coming out for Hazuki, so Hazuki is the strongest they will need to get.
But still no fire source. Holy moly.
Can we just agree that fire is mythological? I don't think it's a real thing.
True, I don't think they discovered it yet as of this seed. It's just non-existent.
They've discovered explosions, but not fire.
It's actually kind of convenient for Render finding Ice Palace first, because hopefully you can check Hookshot Cave is your last check and find out where the heck it exits. And a single rupee, this Ice Palace is loaded.
I dealt that for $1. Alright, Hazuki moving back.
I love this music for Ice Palace, it's perfect.
It really is. I'm now thinking of like a frozen, like carnival. Because these are things that I think about.
So catchy.
Alright, here we go with the fighter sword clear.
Ooh, well, you got red mail 18 hearts. Hammer away. You're going to see the difference, though, between a fighter sword and a fighter sword with hammer to a tempered. Oh, that was Sankart. Nice.
I'm just watching this fight, and it's a little bit... Like, the eyes almost look just curious. Like, what are you doing?
You should have a better sword.
This is not how this fight's supposed to go. I'm talking to my agent. I used to play a lot of fighting games, and this always reminds me of whenever someone picks a joke fighter into you, and you're like, man, if I lose, everyone will make fun of me, and if I win, no one will care.
N-bombs, the ultimate reward.
But we do have, at this point, as we are at an hour and 45 minutes into the stream, Hazukiri does become the first runner to get 2 crystals. Obviously, Helmasaur did not get cleared by Hazukiri, but may or may not have to go back and actually get that, though is losing time slowly by not being able to rush.
Render just mirrored.
Oof.
Was that intentional?
I'm guessing not.
Oh well, we gotta listen to this music more. Totally worth it.
Alright, Mimic Cave is being gotten by Hazukiri. All that for a map. I was just saying, I remembered that nothing big was in here, but I couldn't remember what it was.
I'm just listening to this music. I love it.
I'm very interested to know where it comes from.
Let's see. Many runners say which MSU they're using in the chat here. Let's see. Oh, this is something called Toontown.
See, the only thing I know about that is like, oh, that's the like deck that Maximilian Pegasus used in Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sure it's related.
I'm gonna have to ask Renderer where to get this MSU. I love it.
Render trying to glitch his way to the other side.
Render with a huge deficit, though, only having 17 hearts compared to Hazukiri's 18. Gonna have to make that up.
Surprised Render can even show his face with numbers like that.
Right. Maybe he'll get number 18 in Hookshot Cave. There are 2 heart pieces. Oh, is that true? Render doesn't have the big key to Ice Palace? I thought they both had that. Maybe just Hazukiri has it.
Oh, interesting. You know what? I only remember Hazukiri picking it up.
That's
and
true.
That does make sense because Render came here a different route because Hazukiri found the map and then found the big key. We all kind of talking about it's like just needs to find Ice Palace now.
True, that was just a few minutes ago, wasn't it?
We can't be expected to remember what we talked about, like, you know, just now.
That's true, it is a lot to ask. Thankfully, I don't think there was anything in that big chest.
No, nothing relevant. I think it was just a map.
But now we got to take a look at the difference between a fighter sword, hammer fight, and a tempered.
I was almost expecting the eyes to get stuck in the corner and never even be able to leave.
See ya, Cold Stare. We're gonna get a grumpy fish check as well as a dark potion shop check from a shop check. Not check from Hazukity.
Oh, that is true because mushrooms are boots locked. So that might be where killing Holosaur is going to really, really help Renderer.
Yeah, I've not seen that. You are right. We'll see if Professor Renderer can get back up to that 18 heart mark and match Hazukity.
Alright, here's Hookshot Cave. Or as I like to call it, the Cave of Disappointment.
18, he's good.
Alright, Grumpy Fish, what you got for us? Cave of Burna.
Easier for Spike Cave, I guess. Gotta get that 20.
Spike Cave, and specifically for Hazu, can now check the Aghanim's Tower entrance. Oh, nope.
I think you need a cape or master sword.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was thinking cape, because cape you can go through it, but vulnerability won't do it.
I don't even think we've seen that entrance yet from Render.
I don't believe so.
Which at this point, we're kind of running low on logical entrances here.
Legit question I have. Why the hecking heck do we have two different items that grant invulnerability that do... Like, I'm like, how do you expect me to be able to mentally keep up with the fact that these two items do nothing but grant invulnerability, but they don't do it in the same...
Hard to say, but they both have different uses. But we got Hazukity checking out those myths checks. Ooh, another entrance for Render. What do we got at Ascension Cave?
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
Eastern?
Oh, Thieves Town.
Ooh, another required big key. And Hazukity elected not to go through Hookshot Cave. Oh, but Hazukity does find the back of Skullwoods. And you got a frog as backup. It's all good.
I was gonna say, this is actually really, really genius because you are fighting Mothula. And what is a really, really good thing at killing moths? Frogs.
Good point. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to re-get your follower if you... Oh, no fire source. Never mind, we're done there.
Yeah.
Right, another thing that we can't do without fire. But maybe we'll get it here.
Legit question. How the heck do we keep forgetting we don't have fire source? Like, we've been talking about it continuously for like an hour.
How many seeds do you go through where you're almost 2 hours through and you don't have a fire source, and Hazukity gets a bottle with a bee in it?
That is very true. Like,
Mir, Hazu, you gotta turn in your frog. Hazu.
okay, the frog is their best friend now. Oh, now it's a dwarf. Ooh.
Dwarfs aren't nearly as cool.
Nope.
Oh, it's right. It's an entrance randomizer. Good thing Hazukity's playing this and not me.
Legit. Who's the coolest frog you've ever had in the game? Definitely Frog from Chrono Trigger. Who's the coolest dwarf you've had in the game? I don't know, but way less cool than Frog from Chrono Trigger.
I don't know. In this, you have to save the swordsmith, and then you have to pay him 10 rupees to give you whatever random thing. So you technically have to pay them to return them. The brother is like, I want you to pay me for returning my brother.
I mean, that just sounds like there's some unrestrained, like there's a history there.
It's true, chat. didn't
Thank
see
you,
a...
Zaru.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking, Zaru. Zaru saying nice things about me, and that is the easiest way to get on my good side.
Okay, we'll see if we get a purple chest check from Renderer, because Hazukiri decided not to do it.
Did you both have the flute? The flout?
They do. It'd be a pretty darn quick check, and... yeah, Renderer is going for purple chest.
Also gonna go ahead and get, it looks like Hazu is gonna go and check the Turtle Rock main entrance, see where it actually goes.
Another good check. I mean, what else are we searching for at this point, though, entrance-wise?
Fair question.
Oh, the bird saying no to Renderer. He's like, you've got luggage. I don't want to lift that. But gives in and takes them anyway.
It's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to do that, and then it's like, I want to keep blowing on this flute until you do.
Oh, our fire source!
Okay, that chest is a jerk.
I guess it's back to Skullwoods.
That would be my guess.
Zukitty skips the purple chest.
Yeah, Hazu unfortunately has just made a couple of really, really unfortunate decisions. I'm not going to say bad, because that's a single check. It would be fast, but it's isolated.
I just don't know what other entrances you're looking for at this point. Oh! I guess even if we did get that mushroom, then you wouldn't have known where to turn it until just now. So Hazukitty has that knowledge of the mushroom, but has no boots from Sequence Breaking Pod. So at this point, I think the only thing that could be useful on that mushroom is the Eastern Big Key. I want to say we could beat everything else.
I think so.
I want to say we have the TR Big. I want to say we have... we just got Thieves Big. Don't need one for Skull.
I think they do have Desert.
I think they do have Desert. They don't know where Desert Back is, so that is an entrance we need to find. Yeah, I think we're in entrance go mode, and there's the lamp for Renderer immediately, locked behind Fire Rod?
Yep. So, fire behind fire?
It's usually the other way. Game, please. Okay, so now you can go logically get your boots, and Renderer is back in logic. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
The other thing is, Renderer is now in, other than keys, go mode, because I think they have enough items to clear every single dungeon.
To answer a question in chat, Mitsura and Ice Palace, locked behind flippers. The entrance to Ice is at Dark Shopping Mall. So at this point, Renderer is just looking for Desert Back, and otherwise in go mode, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. There's no items actually locking us out.
Never
There's just
mind.
a little bit of information.
He knew where it was. We just missed it. Renderer is in go mode.
No, clearly that means that Renderer just got insanely lucky, because that means we're still correct.
And Hazu still needs his sword.
Oh, I love this track too.
It's amazing.
I'm not sure how appropriate it is for a dungeon track. It's not ominous at all. It's like, I'm gonna go out of the dungeon, have a rockin' good old time.
I love it. It's so lighthearted. Can't wait to hear the music from Landmo.
Well, you're gonna have to, but you won't have to wait very long.
It's a little more dramatic. Render, please!
Just go ahead and take a rock to the face, but we'll get Limo and gets the big key to the Eastern Palace.
GG! Now in go mode officially, okay. That's all we were missing. We're good.
So yep, we are going to have to clear Eastern Palace and Turtle Rock.
Chat brings up an excellent point. Fire locking, fire locking, fire. Bombos for ice. Ice gives you your mitts. Mitts gives you your fire rod. Fire rod gives you your lamp. That's amazing.
So I'm not sure you and I have the same definition of the word amazing.
I love it.
Yep, Professor Winter is saying, I'm in go mode. I do not need to, I don't care what's in these chests. And legit, it's not even like, oh, let me just look to see if there's silvers, because you've already got those. So legitimately, there's nothing in those chests that you would possibly care about. Like, maybe powder would be decent to have, but... Alright. I am sad we don't get to hear more of this track.
Azukid is gonna get their boots.
And be very, very sad.
Purple chest. Go for the purple chest.
I don't think, because that's now a very orphan check.
Solid fight from Renderer, showing Trianaxu's best.
I'm confused why Hazu went ahead and fighter sorted the mimics.
Probably conserving money. But you got pots to kill the green ones.
Yeah, I'm like, you have 780? That's 78 arrows worth?
Or you could hammer them, I guess. Okay, Renderer just has to go clean up Eastern. Clean up Thieves Town. Then it's on to the Big Pig.
Oh, I was gonna be so sad about being bonk rock like that, but then just hop down. I was like, okay, I guess you can do that too. Look at these players making good plays.
Gamers!
Clearly can't be expected to, like, prepare for that.
And Renderer somehow despawning a bomb. Well played.
Alright, gonna make their way very, very, very quickly through Eastern. Alright, at 2 hours, we have Renderer getting the second to last crystal that they need. And hey, I mean, the good news is that when they get back and have to climb up Ganon's Tower, a lot of it's already done. Here come Pegasus boots for Hazukiri.
Fortunately, we know where Ganon is. We don't need to go back to GT.
There you go, just taking my silver lining away.
Sorry. Unfortunately for Hazukiri, no matter how you route it, you still need a sword.
Oh! actually like sidestepped a silver arrow.
Rude.
Like, do you know how much money I just sank into shooting this one shot at you?
Watch Renderer's money go down. Goodbye, rupees. Hazukitty gets those boots.
Gonna charge into a couple spears to celebrate. Oh, and it does look like they are now going for the chest.
You gotta make up that time. Yeah, you gotta get a few extra bonks. It's mandatory. Oh my gosh, a giant firework just went off. I'm glad I'm on push to talk now.
Thankfully, I'm a little bit isolated, so definitely do not have to worry about that being picked up.
Hazukitty making the right choice.
Fantabulous. Fantabularious. I don't need real words.
That's why I just say fan darn tabulous. Oh, good God, Pixel from Renderer. GG.
That is such a tense room to run through.
Especially in slow motion.
Well, that's just what you do when you want to look really awesome.
Oh, Renderer never turned in the green pendant. Doesn't have that red ring.
Yep, the Lagarang will forever be denied renderer. For a of a second, I was very confused that renderer did not get the like that chest. I'm like, wait, go mode, of course.
Exactly.
Half of my job is explaining to the viewers why they can't make fun of me for not knowing what I'm doing. I'll make fun of myself.
That's half the fun of being a commentator. They realize that it's you just forget. It's all good. That's why chat's there. They got to keep us in line.
Absolutely. I'm just the voice on the microphone. I do have Trinex being taken out by Hazukitty.
In a fight with a fighter sword. Oh. So the only other two swords we know about are Admire and a sword locked behind a sword on Bombo's tablet. Oh gosh.
I don't think I've ever seen Trinex done with Fighter Sword before.
No, it could be done, but it's just a hammer is just so much easier.
Yeah, I more mean I've never seen a runner get to here with just the Fire Sword. Like I realize they're not actually going to use Fighter Sword.
Got you. Okay, and Renderer, getting that 7th crystal. Normally we'd be playing the GT Big Key guessing game, but number 1, the key was vanilla. Number 2, we're not going back to GT.
And number 3, they already have it.
Yeah.
There goes Trinex for Hazukitty. Alright, here goes Renderer. Will be a relatively quick Ganon fight because they do, of course, have silvers, and Renderer has more than enough money to shoot 4 silver arrows.
We're gonna have to ask him about that GT climb, though.
Oh, you know we are. Also about the trash can. I want to know about the trash can.
Absolutely. Getting that 1 and 1. And about to give him a hug. There it is. Just beating the tar out of Ganon. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Merciless.
Timber Sword does a good job against pigs. I'm not sure that like getting those extra hits when he lands is even really necessary for, you know, whenever you're gonna kill him with silvers. But you know what? I do it too. It's fun. Oh, that was a bit. My heart slowed down for a second.
Everybody get your GGs in chat. Professor Render finishes up here as long as he can cross that bridge. And we have Render finishing in first place on Restream and third place overall with a time of 2:09:57. In first place, we have Plasma Kappa doing their thing, finishing with a 1:50:12. And in second place, finishing 14 seconds before Render, we have Koi with a C, finishing with a 2:09:43.
Fun. Very, very, very good run, obviously.
Looks like we'll be having Renderer join us momentarily here.
You have burning questions, but in the meantime, we do go and have another crystal being picked up by Hazuki.
And there we are, Render! Welcome, my friend. GG to you.
GG.
First question, how about that GT climb?
Yeah, that was I was like, wait a second. I stopped myself like as I was about to head up to after finishing up Wizrobe 2. I'm like, wait a second. Oh, I see what happened. And that was a mistake that I didn't even I forgot about, because I was like, it's in the moment. You get like so much stuff in GT, you kind of just forget that you don't have fire sources in that situation.
So how about that fire source? We got Bombos locking, Mitts locking, Fire Rod locking, your other fire source, the lamp.
That was honestly the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, that's really funny. Like, that is like the funniest thing that, like, as soon as I saw the lamp drop off of Moth, I was like, oh wow, okay.
I mean, to be fair, moths are known to congregate around lamps, so it does make sense.
Mayflies, or whatever that is, like whatever the insect is. That's fair, which is fair. That is scientifically correct. But yeah, as soon as I saw the bits, it's like, oh geez, here we go again. Because there's like so much stuff you could do with there's very little you can do with the bits, and you kind of don't want to see the bits. I just decided to play it safe, just play it cool, just kind of follow the bits, and I will say the end of the game ended up being pretty linear. Just how you get from one area to the next. As soon as you get like a fire sword, your fire rod, it's like, okay, now you just gotta keep going You just kind of follow the the trail there. Just follow that item that you have. And because of it, it kind of leads itself to because as soon as you get that, as soon as you get like the fire source for the lamp, like once you get like the skull done, okay, the next thing you do, go straight up to the back of desert, and there's your eastern big. So that lends itself perfectly. And the nice thing about how I ended it out is that as soon as I finished Turtle Rock, oh right, I had this I got put on the mountain, so it's right, just go straight to eastern. Like that's like it leads itself very like it's very linear how you finish this game. The only thing that kind of sucks is where the Ganon spot is. Gotta walk quite a ways to get to it.
That's very true, but of course, the nice thing is that you didn't have to re-climb Ganon's tower in order to get back to Ganon.
Yeah, which is good. That's a good sign. I was like, so the reasoning why I reclined is just I climbed just because, oh wait, I know Uncle is on there, but I failed to realize again. I failed to realize about the fire source stuff, which is fair enough.
And Brock also had a question about your sprite work as well.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So this is my own sprite that I created of my namesake character, Professor Render Grizzleton. He's a scientist bear that I have grown. Although this current design design I have for him currently is newer. It's like the one I had for the sprite is older than what I currently have. I designed it maybe 2 weeks of. It was 2 weeks worth of. I had the head. I was like, well, it's there. I might as well work on it just to do a bit of a creative exercise and limitations. And I didn't know how I forgot how fun this actually ended up being. It is really fun.
So yeah, what is the Dark World version? Because it looks like a walking trash can, but I'm sure it isn't.
You're not wrong. That's Render's robot Dustin. It's a cleaning robot. You're not wrong on it. It's scarily close. Yes, and I'm like, yeah, I designed it because like the idea was that Ren's sprite, like Ren as a character has a robot in his laboratory just helping him as assistant. He's also like very paranoid, so because of our programming book. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Yeah. It's just every single time you have to go to the Dark World before you have the Moon Pearl, or you got hit by one of those things. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you asked.
Well, I've made one sprite, so I'm definitely like always eager to hear. After watching this, I almost want to make another one again.
Yeah, sprite making is actually a very fun exercise in like learning how working with limitations with a certain console. Like it is very fun to do. Like I am not kidding when I say this.
Yeah, for me, it was very, very fun to design and figure out what to do. And then it got a little bit tedious at the point where, okay, I've got it. Now I just have to make small variations on it for about 8 hours.
Yeah, the nice thing about it really is that it is that you're just copy pasting stuff. Like it's you eventually figure out that copying and pasting is your thing. Like it's how you get around some of the things you can do. Just some of them are very simple copy paste jobs. Some of them might need a slight alteration here and there, but none other than that, no. It's like solid.
So mainly the differences, I guess, we'll bring up between you and Hazukitty is you're a little more thorough with your checks. Hazukitty would get somewhere, do it partially, and leave. Like say, find an entrance, find a connector, but not finish through with the connector. And in the particular case of the Smith chain, turns in the Smith chain, elects not to do purple chest. That was a little bit before you. Do you tend to finish your tasks at hand, I should say? Do you tend to check entrances immediately, or do you tend to hold off on them if needed?
It depends on the situation. So sometimes I'll at the start of the game I will like leave areas, like leave like entrances. Like if I find like a dungeon, I will immediately leave. Like it's pretty straightforward. But once if I could do a dungeon that is relatively safe, like Eastern, like how Eastern did, like I will go into it just because it only makes sense to just finish out. It only makes sense to finish out like just to get what you can do, and just kind of keep going. That's what I did it with Meyer, is where with Meyer I only did the checks that I could do just to get anything, just to find something, and that something came in the form of the Master Sword. So, yeah, that worked out. But, yeah, it's basically just depends on what the entrance is. If it's like a cave that has an item in it, then of course I'll go for it because that's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, it is interesting. Speaking of the Master Sword, and you can probably tell this if you're actually watching the restream, Hazuki has not actually found any sword beyond fighters so far, which is a low-key tragedy.
That's, yeah, I do notice that watching it, because that's the thing where in a situation where, because I'm more thorough with trying to go for entrance, because that's the whole idea with entrance shuffles modes to begin with, is your goal is to just scour the whole area and figure out where you need to find certain, like scour the whole game, just go through every entrance, figure out what's there. And in my case, because I want to be thorough with entrance checking, me going down to that one check in Mire, yeah. So here's the thing: that one spot in Mire is actually like where it's a shop there in the original game, or in vanilla entrances. You normally don't think to go down there because it's kind of out of the way. But knowing the entrance, knowing that that's an entrance, I go in, I find Mire, and it's like, well, I know I don't have a fire source. I might as well commit to it just to see what I can find. And that's where the sword came from. And if in a situation where if you don't know that spot, you're kind of in you're in a little bit of trouble, you know? So.
And it makes sense. Mire is, as far as dungeons go, a pretty darn quick place to go through if you don't have to do cutscene chest.
Yes. And that's kind of the idea, because I knew going in that, like, I won't be able to finish this. And I already knew from the getting the book early on in the game that pedestal it only was a small key. And I was like, well, if I desperately need a key for whatever reason, I will pull the pedestal just so that I can get information. Just so I can get something to work with to push me through. Eventually, it found out that, okay, so it doesn't, that the key doesn't, the rest of the keys don't even matter. Like the keys, at this point, we don't care about keys because of the dungeons that were finished.
Good point. And at one point you did go through pod, and you ended up with almost as many keys as when you entered. And later on in the race, you ended up with one small key at some point. Were you ever worried about keys?
Kind of. So the thing was, I knew going in that going into pod was probably going to be a very scary proposition, just because I failed to find Keyrat when I was heading to the back of Escape. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna go and open the key. Hopefully that nothing comes of it. And since I started with 6 keys when I entered into pod, I decided, well, now is a good time to break out Hammer Yum, just so I can have at least 1 key to work with just for the end of the game. And that's kind of the beauty with Retrance, which I will be honest, it's now become my favorite mode. It's become one of my favorite entrance modes. That's the beauty about Retrance, is that with the fact that you have universal keys, you can do whatever you want. Like pod could sometimes be a massive jerk if you just don't have keys to work with, and that means you have to, of course, buy keys every time, which also cuts into your arrow counts. And that's just the kind of the balance that you have to like play around with. It's just this balance that, like, yeah, I don't know where this was going, but Yeah.
It's all about balancing out that key use sometimes.
Yeah, it's one of the just every mode requires a slightly different mindset to approach, and being able to shift into that as you, because we're playing so many different modes so often that it's impressive you're able to do that. Oh, it's just a thing that comes with practice, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, like, and this is the thing, like, Hammer Jump is one of those tricks that it's pretty much it's essential for key sanity modes. It's not even just like Retrance, it's for cross keys. You see it a lot during the key sanity races in the main tournaments. You see it in inverted key sanity as well. Like any of the key sanity modes, if you have the ability to like learning, if you know how to do Hammer Jump, you're set. Like you don't need to, like, you can at least ignore a key. And that's exactly what I did. I could at least ignore a key door, and I wouldn't be bankrupt on keys.
By the end, you're flushed with money, so you end up being able to shoot everything you want with silvers and still be fine.
Yeah, like that's the nice thing about too, is like what, like, the game gives you, like, in this mode, because of the fact that you have a rupee bow and a rupee quiver. By the way, getting the rupee quiver was very easy. Was really easy. I'm not gonna lie. But like by the end, you like have so much money that you don't really care. Just to kind of splurge a little bit. Heck, that's what I just did. I had at one point I splurged. I had so much money after leaving pod, like the pod area, that I decided to just to splurge, like just shoot an arrow, because I knew I had so much money to work with. And it was also the case for GT. It was the case for Eastern. It was the case for Ganon, obviously. Yeah, it really works out like that, because you get so much money because of the fact that arrows, the 5 arrows or whatever, gets replaced with like a blue rupee, stuff like that. It's actually pretty easy. It's actually pretty fun to keep account of how many wood arrows that you can fire. Like I remember counting, I think up to like 140, 150, something like that. Like wood arrows. I couldn't figure out the division for the silver arrows though. Just I had like 1300 divided by 50. I was stuck on that. I'm like, what's that? What does that lead to? How many arrows would have that been? Let me go and find that out.
26.
26 arrows. Okay. That's what I figured. It's something. It had to have been like 6, like something ending with 6. Yeah, it's something. Even then, I should have like practically like a full quiver, like regular quiver's worth of arrows. It's enough to pretty much beat the game with. Because at minimum, you need 200 rupees to finish the game. To finish it with silvers.
Yep. So that's a billion %. So I had a question, and then the question kind of went away.
Oh.
I'm good at asking questions. I do have to say, so looking at this, we've already talked about the fact that Hazuki has gone ahead and made this extra hard by going with Fighter Sword, but Hazuki's also being nice enough to only have a level 1 evil shield. How dare you come into this stream with Lana Bean and get all 3 levels of shields?
That wasn't a fault. That wasn't really a fault of my own. I was snickering a little bit at the mirror shield, just because I saw okay, cool. All right, cool. I could at least get through. Like, I showed that I could get through. I could get through the Aga Tower maze just by without a lamp. And that was just by the way, that was just like on cue. I didn't even prep for it. I just blindly did it, just going off of what I knew. Just kind of a vague idea of what I knew. And I'm like, I got that my first try? What?
Shields are evil, Render. Shields are evil.
Yeah, but like, what else are you gonna do? You know, like just like one shield is enough to cause lag. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, it's one shield is enough for to cause like lag on Aga 1.
Oh heck, to heck with all that lag nonsense. It blocks the sprites.
Right, yeah. I mean, I will admit once you have the mirror shield, it just covers up most of Ren, but short for render.
Exactly.
So like, like, I don't know. It's a thing.
It's a thing, and sometimes you can't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you went from fighters to mirror shield within like 3 minutes.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of funny. Okay, I actually want to see what this uncle was, because I haven't got a chance. I never because I know I didn't. I wanted to see what this was for a while now.
Yeah, $50.
Oh wow! So I could have had it if I had to. I guess to be fair, I wasn't really like by the time I had the lamp and like the fire source, I was never going to climb up GT just because I never got that cape. So in a way, it's nice. Although, where did that blue cape come from?
Where did that come from?
A place?
Accurate enough.
We mentioned it, and then you were like, you could go into Aga Tower entrance now, and we're like, no, you can't without a cape. But that's as far as I remember.
Whatever. Like that. Whatever. I'll look at the research. I'll look back at the VOD just to see where it was.
Yeah, we definitely talked about the fact that it was picked up, but I cannot tell you where it was picked up.
That's fine. I'll look at the VOD when I get a chance to. Yeah. I guess I've now seen the light with Retrance, and it's fun. It's fun.
It looks entertaining for sure. I may give it a go at some point.
Yeah, like it takes all the bad parts of retro and makes it like tolerable. Because the thing with retro by itself is it's just all the stuff that is like all the radical changes that it makes to the game. That in any other mode it's painful, but in like because like to take any caves there's one thing. Because if a take any cave has something that is required, then you're kind of in a bit of trouble. Because like you're looking for something that like that might be required. And it's in a mode, and it's in a spot where if you don't know anything about Retrance or anything about retro or any entrances or whatever, then you wouldn't be able to finish. It would be a forfeit. But in this mode here, it makes sense because you're already doing entrance. You're already doing entrance shovel, especially it's just cross keys with a retro on top of it. But in this mode, it's just like since you're already doing entrances, you're gonna find those take any caves anyway. So it makes sense to just like, and then all the stuff you know of already, like the rupee bow and all that, and the universal keys. That's the good thing about it too. The universal keys makes it so that you don't care about keys in you don't care about keys. Like you generally do not care about keys at all.
Yeah, it's interesting in that it's a key sanity mode, but more of a like less it's the finesse of key sanity goes down, but then they also add in the door randomizer to make a whole different. It's interesting because I've never seen the door randomizer without key sanity component to it, and this really undoes a lot of the key sanity, just the big keys.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, it takes out the small key logic from the game. it just takes all that out of the question. Because normally when you're playing a key sanity mode, you have to know that you need to use all 6 keys for pod to finish to get all the items in the dungeon, something like that. Here in this mode, you don't care about that because you have so much. You have all the keys you can care about, and you can get them pretty accessibly at the cost of dipping into your arrow count. And it just makes sense. Like, it just feels more sensible than it was.
Yeah, it definitely was a retro by itself. I feel like just feels like a weird modern game that wasn't meant to have it. And
Yeah.
putting these together, it kind of makes things, it's like, okay, this is still fun and interesting, whereas I feel like retro by itself is just like, oh, it's just weird, but there's nothing really to unlock about it.
It doesn't fit within the context of the game, because it just straight up doesn't fit within the context of this game. Like in this, because the game is so like, here's the thing. When Zelda 1 first came out, it was a matter of it suffered from first game syndrome. It was the first in the series. It didn't know what it wanted to be. When you look at it nowadays, Link to the Past had made the game a lot more focused on just progression and linearity, made the game a bit more sensible to play. When you take Link to the Past, like the stuff that makes Link to the Past, Link to the Past, and then throw in some of the weird nuances with Zelda 1, then you kind of get this weird mosh pit where you're not sure what really is going on. Not much. You're kind of getting the mix where some the Zelda 1 elements are cutting into the stuff that makes Link to the Past good. So that's kind of what it is. But as you and I already mentioned, it does it a gazillion times, that entrance, when you add the entrance element on top of it, that to me, you don't care about that part ever, because the parts that are supposed to cut into the Link to the Past don't exist. So yeah, I mean, in a way, it feels more like Zelda 1 randomizer, because with the entrance element to it, just because of how the way the game, because if you've ever seen Zelda 1 rando, you would know that it's the levels in Zelda 1 are shuffled around as well with the entrances, so it makes sense. So it's basically Zelda 3's Link to the Past Link to the Past equivalent of Zelda 1 randomizer with Retrance.
All right, yeah, I can definitely see that.
Unfortunately.
Go ahead.
Of note, Hazukiri's stream has gone offline. They have not forfeit, but there is no stream currently going. So I'm not sure if we should take that as a forfeit or if they're just having internet issues.
Yeah, it does look at the overall stats. Of the 7 razors, 5 of them have finished, and then the 7th one did actually forfeit already. So that it may have been a situation of I'm the only razor still going, but has not officially forfeited.
Weird. Must have forgot then. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can only speculate.
Well, it's getting pretty late. I think we'll probably just take that as a I'm done sort of thing.
It does, and I don't necessarily, because it's so frustrating because they are in go mode except for the Master Sword, which is the most frustrating item to not be able to find, because there's 3 of them.
sword modes is a pain, and knowing what the swords that I had, the one in Meyer, then the other one was. I'm trying to remember who the second one I found was. But
Meyer and Ether.
Meyer and Ether tablet, Bombo's tablet. Right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, but the book in the mirror, that would have been a sword available for Hazukiri. I just noticed it. I just realized that would have been a sword.
What would have?
The bombos and the sword was on Ether tablet, or was it? The bombos tablet had the other sword. The small key, the Ether tablet had a small key.
Right, but it was just locked behind Meyer.
Yes. Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. Oh no.
So Hazukiri did officially forfeit just a moment ago.
Okay.
You're saying that there's storms causing router problems, but then I think also it's just which I do not blame that at all. Like, I would be as well.
Yeah.
But with that, actually, it looks like Hazukiri is potentially going to be joining in with us.
Yeah, I'm gonna personally head out. It's like nearly, it's 15 till over here, and I need to need some sleep soon. So
Sounds good, Render. GG to you.
yeah, and thanks to comms trackers, all that stuff, and yeah, it was fun. GG's.
GG's. So we're seeing if we can get Hazukiri here for a quick interview before we call it a night.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, GG. I'm sorry about the weather situation going on.
Yeah. So, that happened.
Yeah, that was quite the I definitely felt for you a lot.
Yeah, I had to reference my local recording halfway through when I forgot that I could just mirror from Pyramid.
Yeah, we were wondering about that. We're like, oh gosh, go to the left, go check Pyramid and Mirror, and then you saved and quit, and you're like, no, Render had just left that area.
I forgot that I could even mirror from up there. Where were those last 3 big keys? Desert, Eastern, and Thieves. I have no idea where they were.
Oh gosh, I'd have to go back to the VOD to double check. I believe the one to Eastern was at Landmo.
Yeah, I definitely know that one of the bosses dropped a key to the next one. The one I remember the most was that you ended up getting like. I know that Meyer had the Master Sword, and then one of the tablets had the other sword.
I was still looking for Meyer.
Oh, got you. Okay, that's the issue.
I never found Meyer. Thank you for having me. I guess I'm sorry about the power. I wanted to keep going, but then, boom, router died. Then I think there was some disconnect in my second monitor, and when that happens, it just kills my whole stream.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Desert Pig was Bumper Cave Light World.
So Meyer was south of Dark Sanctuary. I don't know what that house is called, but it's generally the vendor with a red shield in the vanilla game.
I was about to go there.
So that's Meyer. So that's sword for everything there. Trying to remember, gosh, where Thieves was.
Thieves was at Dark World 5. Float. The 5
Okay,
Dark World.
got you.
I'm impressed. I definitely don't remember.
Well, it's
That's
hard to
one
say.
of just-
our key sanity tracker was down, so it's hard to look at the VOD and know exactly when Renderer got those other small key or the big keys.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry I didn't do better.
Oh, don't apologize at all. Like it was kind of a tragedy in that, like, you kept making decisions that were not wrong, but you got so overwhelmingly punished for them, because it was just like we talked about the warping back from Light World, and then also you like moved away from chest, and then you were actually ahead of Render at that point, but you didn't do purple chest, and then he went, oh, purple chest, oh, it's fire rod, and just started just cruising through dungeons while you're moving away from them, and we're just so I'm good at words.
Yeah, I didn't think to do purple chest at that point. It's like, it was one check, but I didn't have there were so many other things I could have been doing. And I think I should, like, not going to, like, Helma King when I could. Wait, no, not going to Helma King when I got the hammer, like, burned me. Like, that was Boots that.
Yeah, that was another thing that was, and at the same time we were like, well, Boots isn't really unlocking anything, it doesn't look like that's not going to stop them from finishing, but still, Boots is much better to have than not have.
Yeah. I'm not very experienced with entrance, so I don't really understand most of the logical frameworks of why you do and don't make certain plays.
Well, this is the first time I've ever cast or even seen Retrance, so I'm the wrong person to...
Oh, I've done retro, and I've done entrance, and I've done, like, some kind of Retrance expert pool cross doors catastrophe thing by mistake, because I let someone choose a seed for me from, like, 3 random things that got rolled, but I've never actually... I don't actually know how... Like, in entrance modes, like, what is, like, objectively a good play? Like, how you route entrance. I have no understanding of entrance routing. If
I'm
that
with
makes any
ya.
sense.
I'm with you. I don't play enough of these modes to know that quite yet.
I'm comfortable with my swordless strats and my fighter sword strats. And I was kind of surprised that Red Meal was that early, and
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Everyone just went, like, through all of the changes their sprite could go through very, very, very quickly, which was very surprising. But yeah, that's one of the my brain is not big enough for these modes, because I'm always just, like, trying to, in your head, repurpose the map for, okay, what is connected to what, and how do we move through the map to get between the areas? Because
Yeah.
I'm continuously just like, oh no, why are they going that way? And then you'll walk out the door and I'll be like, because it doesn't go there, Raka.
So
Uh,
some of the puzzle was solved by Lady Laura Linda saying that, of course, Lando had the Eastern Big Key, but
Yeah,
Desert
Thank
Big was
you.
apparently at Bumper Cave, Light World.
I forgot that didn't I kind of reach there and just not mirror back to the light world?
I believe so.
Uh,
And that's a
yeah, I kept forgetting these places I could mirror from, the Bumper Cave, the Pyramid, and I kind of got lucky that connector I looked at once actually led me forward in the Dark World, because if it hadn't, I would have been puzzled a little bit longer, because I actually forgot I could mirror to the top of Hyrule Castle from the Pyramid until I actually reached Hyrule Castle from Desert. And then I was like, oh wait, I could have mirrored here the whole time. My brain fixated on the idea that glove was progression or glove or flippers were progression to swim under the bridge, then hookshot across the river.
Got you.
It gets very, very easy to just get like secondly fixated on this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need, and then all of a sudden your brain just kind of clicks. You were definitely not the only one doing it, because at one point Renderer was just got most of the way up Ganon's tower, and then was suddenly just like, wait, I don't have a fire rod or a lamp, and just had to like leave. So it's just it's things that you take for granted,
Ouch.
and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that doesn't apply right now.
Yes, I feel like I did that with a different dungeon. I tried to do it without the requirements. I can't remember. I tried to go to the back of woods without a fire source.
That's true. I do remember that now that you mention that. But what do you think? Wait, one question I forgot to ask you. We asked Render a bit ago. What do you think about Bombos locking mitts to get your fire rod to get your lamp?
Wait, Vamos locked mitts?
Ice Palace had your mitts to get your fire rod off a purple chest, to get your lamp off of Skullwood's boss.
Yes, that was kind of. Well, it would have been awful if I had like figured it out sooner. And then by the time I did figure it out, I just forgot where I even got the things and where Ice Palace was.
It's kind of a one and done. I think it was at Dark Shopping Mall. You both found it and you just full cleared it. I think you had the big key for it because you had just gotten it, but Render had never found the ice big.
I'm kind of glad I had the ice big because I never hit the switch when I do Icebreaker.
Render, go ahead.
No. What? I'm sorry.
No worries. I was just going to say Render did the same thing. He forgot to hit the switch and Icebreaker, and then remembered later that he didn't have the big key.
It's less of a forgot and more of a personal routing choice. I skipped the switch and just pray for the big key. But I had the big key because Key-sanity, so I could just skip the switch and go straight down.
Very true. Well, it's about time we wrap this up. It's getting late for many people.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely my pleasure.
Thank you for
Our
joining
pleasure.
us today. You did a fantastic job. Thank you so much for hanging out. Any last words from me before we wrap it up here?
No, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll wrap it up here. Thank you everybody for joining us here. Don't forget to give a follow to Speed Gaming through Speed Gaming 6 and their other corresponding channels as well. It's getting a bit late, so we'll kind of forego going over the schedule, but I'll post it in the chat here.